not black, period. The issue
Facts.
is we want our black culture from non-black bodies.
Facts.
And Bruno Mars is like, I'll give it to you.
Facts.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is the Mother's House Podcast, and I am Deshaun.
What's going on? What's going on? Peace to the family. Peace and light to you and yours. What's going on with my cousin?
Chillin', what's up?
Chillin', man. What's good? What's good?
Well,
hey, man, you checked out the Grapevine?
Yeah. So, the whole Bruno Mars Cultural Appropriation thing has gotten really big. We talked about it a couple of times earlier this year around the Grammys and around the time Finesse came out. So we already said how we felt, but for the sake of popularity, we can go ahead and ride this train again.
Might as well, man. Come on, ride this train. Woo! So, the Grapevine.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all haven't checked out the video? I think y'all should watch the whole video of the Grapevine instead of the 2-minute clip. There's a lot more points being made.
Yeah.
You know, a lot more points, a lot of more different sides. And you heard about Tariq Nasheed going after old girl Sharon? Sharon, man, I fuck with her. I like Sharon.
Why did he go after her?
He basically was going after her. He was just trying to dispel her whole pro-black rhetoric, talking about she dated a white guy before when she said she didn't. You know.
How does he even know?
People that's how mainstream media or people who are in the media try to tear down people's platforms by spewing misinformation about folks.
Right.
And same thing Boyce Walkers did with the Grapevine, saying, yo, they owned by the root. But I've been watching the Grapevine for at least a year, probably 2 years now, right?
Right.
And from my understanding, she started that right after she graduated. Ashley Acuna, her and one of her partners, one of her homegirls. They created that. They fund that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't getting no backing from nobody else.
Right. And then they supposed to be older, Boyce Walkers and Tariq Nasheed. That's how they. That's the kind of examples they set.
Oh, man.
They in their damn 40s.
For real, like you damn grown, man. It's sad when you got eldership. I don't even know if you want to consider them your elders. You got people up there who are so egotistical that they gotta pump off the, young folks trying to make their name for themselves and create a platform, a safe place for black people to have conversation. That's basically what the Grapevine is, just a safe place for young black people, millennials, to have a conversation about issues that pertain to them and that's dear to them at this present day. You know what I'm saying? Same thing we do.
Right. And they have every right to do that. It's enough room out here for the Grapevines, the Tariq Nasheeds, the Boyce Walkers, and the Mother's House Podcast.
Exactly. Anybody else.
Right.
You know? But let's get back to the conversation at hand. So I'm gonna let you kind of gear what you heard from it, and we just want to chop it up from there. We're gonna go in more detail on not so much on Bruno Mars. I think the conversation got lost with his name attached to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, I actually agreed a lot with what Seren said. We've actually said it. I almost felt like she might have saw one of our videos because we said very similar things. She kind of elaborated a lot more on it. But as far as I feel about Bruno Mars, I really don't think it's cultural appropriation because I feel like you should be able to do whatever you want to do. And I think that cultural appropriation line is real light. It's real thin. You know what I'm saying? It's like as soon as you do something that becomes cultural appropriation. But I did feel like this era for him was a rehashing and it wasn't an original sound. And I felt like because of that, he shouldn't have won those Grammys. I feel like you can do what you want to do, but when you're winning like the most acclaimed award in music, again, I don't care about the Grammys either, but if they call themselves, the epitome of music excellence, like that's like the highest award in music, I just don't understand how you would give that award to someone whose entire era was literally a rehashing of another era, and it wasn't even done in a way that made it an original, unique, new type of sound. It was like, it was too similar to me. And that's nothing against Bruno Mars. I think Bruno Mars can sing, perform. I think he's awesome. I think he's great. I just don't think the originality is there to have the most critically acclaimed award. That's how I feel. But as far as, I feel like, because this is my thing, like, if I, as an artist, if I want to sing, rap, do rock, do poetry, do a cartwheel, like whatever I feel like doing, I feel like I should be able to do that, and I don't feel like I should have to ask anyone's permission to do that.
Right.
So I honestly don't have a problem with Bruno Mars doing whatever he's doing. But my thing was, damn, how he get a Grammy? Because usually the people who win those Grammys are a little bit more original. Like, I don't even have to like them. I think in one video I gave an example of Taylor Swift. I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan, but Taylor Swift has her own thing. You know, that's her sound. You know, that's Adele's sound. Most of those people who win those awards, even when you be like, oh, that album was stupid, but that's their album. You know what I'm saying? That's their sound. I feel like Bruno Mars won those awards for a sound that wasn't his.
Let me give you a framework from what cultural appropriation is. I'm reading a dictionary, and it says cultural appropriation, often framed as cultural misappropriation, is a concept in sociology dealing with adoption of elements of a minority culture by members of the dominant culture. It is distinguished from equal exchange due to presence of colonial element and imbalance of power. So, reading that dictionary, you still don't think he's the definition. You still don't think he's a cultural appropriator? Okay, so I'll say this.
He might be a cultural appropriator, but I feel like I'm just not offended by it. And I'm often not offended by cultural appropriators, because in the world of music, that's just kind of how it's always been. You know, it's always been that way. I don't know if it's just because I've seen it so often. This is the same story.
This has always been other groups of people that's not people of color, black people, who are not black people, has always benefited from what we created.
Exactly.
It's always been there, so we shouldn't really be offended, or you're saying, like, you're just not offended by it?
I'm just not offended. I remember when Bruno Mars when this era first started, I remember him and Weeknd came out at the same time, and we actually did a podcast on it.
Yeah.
And then, I remember saying at that time, I was like, it's kind of corny. I was like, it just seems kind of caricaturish. It seemed like he just kind of, and this is when his album first came out.
Right.
Like, as soon as it came out, I said that. I was like, I don't know, it's just something about, like, I couldn't put my hand on it, but it was something about it that was just a little like, But, you know, but even at the end of that, I said, you know what, but do your thing. Like, if you that inspired by an era that you want to make the same exact album, then damn it, you have every right to do it. As long as you pay them people. I think he got a bunch of samples all throughout his album. He gives credit to those people all throughout his album, so they're getting paid. So, I mean, and I remember saying I liked Weeknd better because I felt like Weeknd had a more original sound.
Right.
Yeah. So.
See, this is the thing. Like you said, you spoke of Weeknd. Another person who did it, New Jack Swing sound, who pushed that sound throughout his music and his music career, Mac Wiles. A lot of people don't know. They know Mac Wiles. They know of him from his acting. They didn't know.
I love that song. I love that song.
Yeah. What it was?
Cause we live it like we own it. That's my jam.
That's very much that New Jack Swing sound. Mind you, Nice Wonder, I think he's pushing Mac Wiles, right? Mm-hmm. And he's defending Bruno Mars and the cultural appropriation, which is interesting. But even his artists don't benefit from the same sound that Bruno Mars pushing.
Right.
So Shereen got a lot of freaking points to what she was making.
I agree with just about everything she said.
Every single thing except for, you know, I hate him to the point if he died tomorrow, I'd make him a cake. I think you.
I don't wish death upon anyone.
Death on nobody.
Right.
One. But see, I guess you were trying to explain how much you don't care about the guy. Alright, right. Okay, whatever. But at the same time, that's the only part that I was like, you're doing too much. But,
yeah.
But at the same time, I understand and understand and agree a lot to her points than out of everybody else in the whole Grapevine video. The problem is that we don't have ownership of our own creation. We don't have ownership of our own music.
Exactly.
And we give our music and creation constantly out for other people to use, and we hold them up like it's like I remember going to a step show, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a Kappa step show, and they had some white guys doing the Kappa steps, and the crowd went crazy because white guys were doing the steps just like black dudes doing it, but they wasn't doing it better. They were just able to do.
Oh yeah, we're notorious for when someone outside the culture comes in and does something. You know, if it's half good, we'll treat it like it's the best thing. Yeah, I mean we're notorious for that.
So when she was saying like we love hearing black music from non-black people, that's a fact. That's what black folks have been conditioned to think.
That's so true. It's so true.
How they react to non-black people doing their shit.
So true.
And when we see black people doing, oh, that's cool, that's cute. Oh, you saw how that white girl did that? You saw how she was twerking? You saw how she was Millie rocking?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And with
we
that,
don't take ownership of our own music. We don't have the thing is, it's not a problem with other people coming in and, you know, participating in and paying homage. Like, Bruno Mars pay homage. He say where he get inspiration from and all that. But the bigger issue is the fact that we sell our creation. We sell our
culture.
Our culture. We sell our culture out for other people to use. And we don't hold our culture to our chest. We don't hold our culture close to us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. I think it's
So it is cultural appropriation what he's doing.
Right.
Without a doubt, nobody's just saying like he's that talent. His talent is not valid. He shouldn't be doing this. Nobody's saying he shouldn't be doing. It's saying like, okay, let's put a scope on why he's the biggest artist and doing the same type of music that Mac Wells did.
And I think
same type of music that so many different artists who do not get the light of day. You got Kalila, you got a lot of R&B acts that's out here that's really Sid. You got Sid out here from the internet. You got you got a lot of different artists.
Right. But the thing about it is like people are attacked. I don't think it's more so the system. It's not really Bruno Mars. I think Bruno Mars is benefiting from it, but I think that's why I didn't like immediately start to dislike Bruno Mars, because I know how the system works. Like I know, I mean, I'm not a part of the system, but we all know what music is. Music is marketing. You know, that's what music is. So they can make anybody big. You know what I'm saying? So they chose Bruno Mars. I don't disagree with Seren about them wanting black culture from a different base, because that's how they've always wanted it, you know? I think with me, it's more so I'm not surprised. You know, I think that's why I'm not all like up in arms. It's just kind of like, oh, okay. The Grammys thing, even with the Grammys, I wasn't surprised. I made a couple of videos, but because you called it, you was like, watch you win.
I told you he gonna win.
Yeah,
I told
you did.
Right before they announced who's gonna win the big. I ain't even watch the Grammy. I'm just looking at it through Twitter. I'm like, okay, I ain't gotta look at it no more. I know who's gonna win the big three. Bruno Mars.
Right.
I just saw it. I saw him winning the first two. Like he got all of them. But this is the thing. The reason why that is because they want to show diversity. They want to paint a picture of diversity, but they ain't gonna paint the picture of diversity with black face.
Right. And
with black people in the spotlight. If they do, they throw one black person up there and everybody else, right?
Right. Right. You know, diversity.
Because like this ain't nothing new. Why did they push Justin Timberlake so heavy into the R&B market? Why they even try to push Adele? I don't even think Adele is R&B, but they try to push Adele so heavy into the R&B market. You know, when you got Jasmine Sullivan, who is just as amazing and strong. I think she's a stronger singer than Adele. Not the Adele talent, but she's a stronger singer. But there's a reason why Adele is a bigger artist than Jasmine Sullivan. Hell, Adele's probably a bigger artist than Beyonce, but I do applaud her for calling that out during her Grammy. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, like I said, it's all about marketing. If you got a white artist that's talented, they're going to get marketed differently than a black artist that's talented. That's just kind of how it is. I mean, I don't. That's why I don't know if it's because I've seen it done so many times, so I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, again, you know. But this will happen when y'all giving passes to the cookout. When you give passes to the cookout, the person might come in and steal the show.
Exactly.
That's what happens when you get passes to the cookout. Stop giving passes to the damn cookout. Control your culture.
Stop sharing your ribs.
Right.
Stop sharing your little burgers
Right.
and everything.
Y'all mad because Bruno Mars came in there with the same ribs that your auntie and them made.
With his little sunglasses on, his damn coochie sweater.
And his little afro wig. And then...
Afro wig, you know what I'm saying?
And now somebody like, he stole that recipe from my aunt. And Bruno like, I didn't steal this from your aunt. I love your aunt. Yeah, she gave it to me. She gave it to me.
Like, she gave me this plate. Like, what you talking about? She made the potato salad specifically for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just able to package it and figure out what she did and resell it to everybody.
Right. And then he over there, he made a little killing offer. He got little packages selling it to everybody's house.
Man, he doing patty pie, Patty LaBelle pie.
Right. Bruno pies. Oh, that's funny. But
I think that's the thing, man. I think I put more onus on the consumers than the artist, than Bruno Mars himself. You dig what I'm saying? And also towards the other black artists. Like, there's another girl, what her name? Alexia Cara?
Mm-hmm. She white.
She's a white girl. She sings. She does kind of, she sound, who has a similar sound to her? That's new out. Georgia Smith got a similar sound to her.
Yeah.
I like Georgia Smith's sound better. And she's a black woman from UK, right?
Yeah.
So, granted, she's a lighter skin artist, you know what I'm saying, mixed race artist, whatnot. But they still won't give her the same look they gave Alexia Cara. They still won't give her the same look as they, because, you know, the thing is because they, like Sharon said, they want the great white hope to take over all aspects of everybody's culture. You know what I'm saying? That's just been their motto since, you know, the 1600s, since they pushed the whole anti-blackness campaign. It's all form of anti-blackness. They're trying to strip away anti-blackness from the music. They're trying to strip away blackness from the acting, from every aspect. They're trying to strip away blackness.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the problem is you can't get mad at Soren or the Grapevine or anybody else who would call them a cultural appropriator unless you do history and learn history and understand history. Like, I don't hate Bruno Mars. I don't have no hatred towards Bruno Mars. I like Bootlegs and Hooligans, his first project that he came out with. I like the song he did with B.O.P. that kind of put him in everybody's limelight. Who the hell is this light-skinned dude or whatever the hell he is, right? And mind you, when he first came out, he played that whole racial ambiguous role pretty heavy. Like, nobody can understand what the hell he is.
Right.
And he played that. Same thing Prince kind of did when he first came out. When Prince let you know, like, look, nigga, I'm black. Like,
right. I mean, I wasn't around when Prince first came out, so I can't really vouch for Prince. But like, I blame the system.
Mind you, Prince, some people, like 5 years from now, people gonna say Prince is an alien.
I blame the system more than I blame Bruno, more than I blame consumers, because the system controls all of this. It's making people think that Bruno Mars is more than what he is. It's making people think, you know, the marketing, how they research stuff, they do tests, they do statistics, like they plan things out to a T. So I blame the system for
this is a 5-year plan.
Yeah, oh yeah. So Bruno Mars just happened to be the one who they picked.
Who can benefit from it.
Right.
Who is benefiting from it.
It worked.
Like, and this ain't saying like he can't do no finesse joints, he can't do none of the any inspirational music, because this thing, music going to inspire every fucking body. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing a lot of people saying, well, you know, you saying that means Pete Rock shouldn't get inspired from whatever sample he got from, that he be appropriating that person's music. Like, if it's part of the culture, you ain't really appropriating anything. There's nothing. Even if you want to tap into the whole, if he's like, what they say, he's a Puerto Rican, Brazilian, whatever the fuck, right?
Jewish.
Yeah. Any of those cultures have aspects of African drums, African music, because all this shit stems from African drums, African beats, African music. You know, in Africa they were playing running the dozens. In Africa they were rapping just like, you know, in ancient times, but they called it running the dozens. They did the same kind of things that we do here. We just kind of held on to that aspect of our culture.
I would say it's African American. What he's doing, it's
No. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking about the aesthetic from ancient times, like where hip hop come from. Some aspects come from Africa. It's like all black music kind of stem from African type of beats from ancient African rituals and things. Even down to the break. If you go down to look how people in tribes in Africa in ancient times, they did break dance just like break dancers do now. You know what I'm saying? So all of it comes from a particular place or a particular culture. You know what I'm saying? We're not appropriating that culture. That's part of African American culture. That's what we attach to. You know what I'm saying? It's not separate. So, to be like, that for some people who will say like he just tapping into that African culture, he's still taking away from African American culture and still appropriating because it's the type of sound that he's taking from that black African American push. Teddy Riley pushed the New Jack sound. Right. He created it. You know what I mean? So of course he's appropriating African American culture.
Right. I mean, we have to be careful when we say appropriation, because like I said, it's such a thin line. It's such a fine line. And also, we have to be careful when we say because some people will probably argue down about where hip hop started and where certain things came from, because at the end of the day, there is nothing new under the sun. Something was inspired by something. So we do have to kind of be careful when we start saying like, where it really all originated here and didn't really come from there, because I feel like it can almost be taken as a slight to African Americans and saying, well, y'all really didn't invent this. What y'all did came from them.
That wasn't what I was saying. Like, I wasn't saying like African.
Right, I got what you were saying, but I was just wanting to clarify.
Like, African Americans. There's a reason why we call ourselves African American, even though that's a term that Jesse Williams. Was it Jesse Williams?
Jesse Jackson.
Jesse Jackson. Same damn person.
It's not.
It was Jesse Jackson brought up, right? So, there's a reason why we attach to Africa, because it's part of our culture. It's always been part of our culture. Even to us now who don't believe that we're African, we were ever African, it's still a part of our culture from lineage of growing up, from our history. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here or there. The whole thing is about, if you feel like somebody appropriating your culture, you feel like somebody taking away from your culture is not giving the same, and you're not getting the same opportunities off the culture that you created or that you that your people have popularized in the beginning. And mind you, Bruno Mars wouldn't be big if black people didn't fuck with it.
I don't think so. I think he would still be big.
I don't think he'd be as big as he is now.
Because
I don't think so.
I think he would, because let me tell you something. Bruno Mars was already big. I guess black people just found out about Bruno Mars, this album, but Bruno Mars was already big.
No, I think black people know about Bruno Mars on B.O.B.
But Bruno Mars' first two albums were more pop. They weren't really... There was some R&B, but it was overall, it was like a doo-woppy, popish type thing going on.
You got connected with Mark Bronson. Mark Bronson helped.
But I'm talking about before Mark Bronson. Mark Bronson was later. Bruno Mars' early stuff was pop. It was very like...
Bootlegger Hooligans, he had jazz, he had pop, he had R&B, he had hip-hop, he had all those elements in there. So he was pulling from all those elements.
But to me,
the first album, then the second album, I think that was strictly pop. But you could still put, and even with pop culture, that's black music too. So,
but see, I don't know. It's it's weird when black people be like, well, we didn't invent everything. It's almost like, it's like you can't do both, in my opinion. Even with the whole Africa thing, you can't be like, well, that's cultural appropriation. Then be like, well, we invented everything. Then be like, well, everything came from Africa. It's like you can't play each card, because you will end up not making sense.
Stop speaking truth and speaking facts. If you pay attention to the elements of where music come from, where inspiration come from, it comes from a place of a black or a melanated person. You know what I'm saying? Every aspect into the music. If you go down to rock and roll was created from black folks. Blues, you know what I'm saying?
And I understand that, but then it's gonna be like, okay, I get that argument. I get black people. I get it. But at the same time, it'll be like somebody can come in and say, well, if y'all invented everything, I guess we all cultural appropriating. So what's the big deal? That's what somebody can come in and say. That's why you have to be careful with this cultural appropriation argument.
The big deal is, it ain't about you taking that culturally appropriating other people's music. So like I said, Bruno Mars, he can do what the fuck he's doing. There ain't nothing wrong with him doing what he's doing. For me, right? Because then this is my only reason I have issues with outside people doing what the fuck they doing. They benefited more than what the fuck we benefit from. And that's because we don't take ownership of our own culture. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So even with rock and roll, the reason why rock and roll left from black hands and black people is because, you know, we have other black people like Chuck Berry speaking up for Elvis, for stealing black music. And then we gotta also put a notion there's different things. Like another thing Serena kind of said that kind of disagree with. She was like, he's taking things word for word. He's not taking things word for word. He's taking elements and aspects and nuances and character from black artists from the 90s and 80s or wherever he pulled it from. He's not taking word for word. He ain't stealing people's work. Where Elvis Presley stole, you know, I forget the lady name that created that first song that he stole. He stole people's work. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we got to keep in mind that there's aspects of cultural appropriation. There's aspects of people just straight up stealing.
That's very true. That's true.
And that's how rock and roll pretty much got stolen. It wasn't appropriated. It wasn't like just like how R&B, some people may feel R&B being appropriated by white artists, because a lot of people like to hear R&B aesthetics and music from lighter artists or lighter skin or non-black people artists. I think that's the issue that Serena was trying to bring up.
Right, and I totally get that, but I don't know. It's like on one hand, I get it. People always steal from black people, but at the same time, black people, in order for us to have, well, at least this is what all the major artists think must be, in order for us to have what we want for our success and to rival your white counterparts, you have to give it away to reach that higher level, or you'll be underground for the rest of your life, and then they'll just come and steal it while you're underground. So you might as well sign with the major labels and get with the white team, because they have all the power. Maybe some of them think of it that way.
I don't think that's the answer, though. I don't think that's the answer. I think the answer is black people need to take ownership of their own bullshit for what they're crying about. One, they need to take ownership of the shit that they're crying about. We're crying about Bruno Mars and other white people that they benefit from the music that we created, this and that. We need to start supporting more black artists than the artists that's not getting the same light as Bruno Mars are getting the same attention. Granted, they're not in your face, so you don't really know who's out here. You know, you probably never even heard a Black Wild song. You know what I'm saying? We have to take ownership to be like, okay, if we back behind somebody, well, like the mainstream gonna follow behind it. Look at Black Panther, look how billion. And mind you, I don't think Black Panther got a billion because black people went to go see it, and only black people in America went to go see it. But what I'm saying is, we have to put our step behind our artists and support our artists.
But the thing about it is,
but this is the thing: if artists go to the major labels and sell their music out, Prince was fighting against that. That same like what Prince did, or what Prince was pushing. We should eliminate that whole perspective of what Prince was trying to do, and just go to the majors, let them rape us, do whatever. And that's the only way we're going to get to that mainstream and stop being underground. You gotta be, this is the thing. being underground is not a bad thing. You get what I'm saying? If you got a grassroots following, that following will continue to grow if you talented enough and if you dope enough. You get what I'm saying? So, no, I don't think you should go to no majors.
Well, this is what I'm saying. I feel like in order to get a certain level of success, you may have to go to majors. There are very, very few independent artists who can have that level of success. And I think a lot of times when you are starting your grassroots campaign and you're doing what you're doing, in order to take it to the next level, i.e. a Cardi B, you may have...
They were talking about her and cultural appropriation.
You may have to, i.e. Migos. Migos was indie for a while, but then eventually they signed with the major labels. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing or a good thing, but I think a lot of times the only person who I know who is surviving and indie and big is Chance.
But you gotta also put in effect, what his name? Tech Nine. Tech Nine's been indie all his career. Being indie, he's a big thing in the hip hop arena.
I mean, I think Tech Nine is big, but
E40 was indie throughout his whole career.
But those artists aren't as mainstream though as the ones I named. Like Tech Nine,
E40 is mainstream.
E40 and Tech Nine, they're big, but they're not like the next level big. You know what I'm saying? Some artists want that.
What's okay? So to be next level big, you're saying you gotta get with the white folks.
Usually, yeah, you do. Like
that's how the system is set up and how it's created. But if we as millennials, if we as black people who try to preserve culture and try to create our own culture or push our own culture for our children's children to enjoy, or for us to really get our full voice and full aesthetics and have ownership of our own shit, we can't sell our shit to the majors.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? That's my whole thing.
And I get it, like,
but
I understand what you're saying.
Everybody should have to be an icon to be able to do that. You know
right. I totally get what you're saying, but I just feel like it's a lot more difficult than that. Because even with the artists you name, when you were naming the independent or the R&B artists who aren't as well known, how many people know them versus how many people know the major artists? It's like, it's about marketing.
Like the major artists is not that many. So you can't say everybody's music comes from the very few major artists that's played on the radio.
Well, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is those people who you name, like a lot of people still don't know who they are. So it's like, this is what it is. You're going up against a much bigger machine. And black people, even though it may seem like, yeah, we are rooting for black people, some black people is not trying to find the other artists who doing this and that. A lot of black people just trying to listen to what they hear. They're not trying to go and search and find. A lot of people just want to hear what comes on. Like, that's not what everyone's doing. So when you say we should all support, like, and I agree, like, I'm an indie artist myself. Like, I would love for us black people to support each other more. Like, I think that would be dope, but I also have to be realistic and know that, black people are probably going to ride with what's most popular, because that's just kind of what we do.
Backlash from this Grapevine interview.
You said what?
I mean, that's why you see a lot of backlash from the Grapevine video. Because you're right, because that's where our mindset is at now. But that's what they were trying to say in the whole thing. It was like,
and I'll take it even past music, even down to clothes, to shoes, to food, to this, to that. Like, wherever is black owned, like, it's not just music. You're gonna go for what you know. You're gonna go for what's most popular, because we all can purchase black stuff a lot more. We all can support black businesses, quote unquote, a lot more. But they're just not the first thing that comes in my head. It's just not. That's just what it is.
So how do you get them to the point where you saying the only way to do that is by attaching yourself to some white organization or corporation or a white name, so you can get that exposure?
That's how I feel. I feel like you either gonna have to stay with your people and be like, fuck that, I'm gonna just be indie, and my people gonna be my people. I'm gonna support my core fan base, which is just as dope. If you asking me, I think that's just as dope. But if you want to be bigger, I'm not saying it's impossible, but more than likely you gonna have to have some type of white backing. Yeah, some type of machine, more than likely. Even if that means just get your stuff in Target.
Like, look at this. Look at Janelle Monáe, right? Janelle Monáe is a talented artist. actress, singer. She's hella talented, right? She was very much slept on her last album. She was very much slept on her first album. You know, she was very much slept on throughout her career. Like, a lot of people know Janelle Monáe from acting more so than they know of her singing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And she got attached with, you know, Bad Boy, you know, Diddy and Atlantic and all that. So she got signed with the majors. So why she's not as big as a Bruno Mars?
I don't know.
And I'm telling you, the fact is, if you continue to try to sell your stuff to these major labels, they're not going to make you the bigger mega star. They're just not going to do it. Because Janelle Monáe has the same amount of talent, same amount of skill, same amount of wild power as a Bruno Mars or even as a Beyonce. Yeah, I said it. You know what I'm saying? She had that same it. But she's not going to be she ain't going to receive the same acclaim as a Bruno Mars or a Beyonce or as anybody else, because these major labels have a quota who they're going to let in to be that. Because they don't want too many stars to shape minds and focus and push a type of narrative in black people's mind or in melanated people's mind. You know what I mean? So we can't just solely focus on, I got to get signed or I got to get to popularity. Mind you, even though I'm talking about Janelle Monáe, she still goes to them outlets. She still signs to Atlantic. She is part of the Cover Girl, a whole bunch of other avenues where, you know, white faces are that own and shit. And she doing what you're saying. She will never get to that level as a Bruno Mars. She will never get to that level. And maybe she will get to a Bruno Mars, but she ain't gonna be like, oh my God, she's an icon type of level, like the bigger stars. I don't think she will ever get that chance because her honesty, her conviction, her authenticity is always gonna block that. They ain't gonna push money behind that fully like that. Well, that's why you gotta have faith that your voice and your message and your music or whatever you're doing is gonna reach your people, and they're gonna support you 100%. And a lot of times, yeah, it doesn't happen.
Right.
So focus on brands.
Right, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. Focus on brands. Some people do their indie thing, and that's their route. Some people do major, and that's their route. Like all I'm saying is two different routes. But if you want certain things, you're going to have to choose a certain route. If you want to be major and to be everywhere, you may have to choose that major route. You may not be able to do the indie route. The indie route is not for everybody. Now, a lot of artists will tell you that it's not. It's a different route.
Yeah, it is.
You'll have more control. You'll have this. You'll have that. But it's a different route, and it has different results. Now, there are some people who aren't as big and did major, like a Janelle Monáe. But I feel like, I mean, look at Migos. They big as hell. You know what I'm saying? So it works with different. It's different.
Look at Migos. You focus on the Migos. What type of music they pushing out, right?
But I'm not talking about content. I'm talking about artists. Like I'm not even Janelle Monáe. I'm not talking about what they're saying. I'm not saying what they're saying is good or bad. I'm just talking about black artists in general. Right.
I'm not trying to focus on the content. I'm saying, okay, you say the Migos, you say Janelle Monáe, okay. The indie, the major route is helping them somewhat, giving them the exposure and whatnot. If they try to do indie, but look at Maya. Maya was the big thing back in the day. Maya had left from major to come independent, and she got to push her music independently. Right. A lot of big artists, a lot of big R&B artists had to do that. Most. That's why you don't see as many R&B artists out there making the same kind of moves as Bruno Mars and getting the same kind of looks, because they're putting money behind non-black artists. You know what I'm saying? They're putting money behind non-people, you know, non-black artists. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
So if we put our focus on solely on trying to become major, or trying to get signed, and trying to do this and trying to do that, I don't think that's going to help the narrative of black artists being accepted in the musical world, or accepted in a grand global scale, because they still feel, even though Black Panther sell with $1 billion, they still feel black people is not accepted globally.
And I'm not saying that we should only put our focus on anything. What I'm saying is You gonna choose, it's two routes. It's a major route and it's an indie route. Though if you want certain things, you may have to choose a certain route. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying that any route is good or bad. Like, it depends on that artist and what that artist wants. Like,
well, let me ask you this. If you see the artist selling their content, their creativity to the major routes, right? Just to get bigger. Just to have a bigger platform and have a bigger audience, right? Do you think they selling away their culture?
Now, it depends. It depends on the contract, because not any contract is the same. So they may have something in their contract that says we want you to be authentically yourself, or you may, like nowadays, people own their masters and in the majors. So you know what Prince did, it had some type of effect, because I think Nipsey Hussle owned his masters. A lot of people own their masters down there in the majors. So it just depends. I don't think
Nipsey Hussle major, is he?
I don't know. I think he is.
I thought he said he wasn't signed to nobody. He was signed. He got unsigned because they kept on pushing his music back. That's why he came unsigned, and now he finally able to get his music out there like he wanted.
Well, I know there's some people nowadays that have their masters. Not everybody, but I know it's some people. I've heard of it before. But like I said, like it depends on a lot of shit. Like your contract may have this stipulation, that stipulation, you know.
It bears down to the fact that black people don't own shit. They don't own distribution. We don't own distribution centers. We don't distribute our music. Yes, Jay-Z got title, but he don't own title. You know what I'm saying? We don't own distribution towards music. The fact that we don't have ownership when it comes to distribution, that we had ownership to companies, like even Diddy, he had Bad Boy, but Bad Boys gotta pay such and such, and they got some dealership with Arista or one of them companies.
Right.
Like, you know, we don't have full ownership of our own culture, period. You know what I'm saying? And somebody can say, you never did. Right? Always gotta be backed by somebody of non-black descent. Most likely a Jewish or a black or white person. The thing is, if we want to maintain the culture, we want to say we culture creators, we create. That's why hip hop is overselling. It's selling all across the world. We want to say these type of things. We got to start taking more ownership of our creation and our distribution. We got to take more ownership of that as artists, as creators, as moguls, as everything, right? We got to start buying, and then us as consumers, us as the listeners, we have to buy into those things and do it willingly, whether it's a sacrifice or not, whether you have to literally go through loops and holes just to find your artists. To be able to get that, you might have to go back to do that to have ownership of your own music. To be able to say, well, such and such can't do this because such and such done this already. You know what I'm saying? That's my whole thing. My whole thing is about maintaining and holding on to your culture, period. It ain't about, you know, whether you do it a major way or you doing it indie way. You got to take ownership of what the fuck you gonna push out and maintain your culture if that's what you're trying to do. Now, if you're just trying to make music because that's just what the fuck you like doing, and you just want to get a quick buck real quick and make sure you get exposure, cool. You just want fame, cool, go with a major. But I think things should be a little bit more deeper when you're really trying to speak and uphold the masses.
Right.
Of black folks.
Right. And I don't know, it depends on a lot. It depends on what you're trying to do. Yeah, like I said, it's them two routes. Like, do you want to do, you know, you want to do the A and D route? Do you want to do the major route? You know, so.
Right. So, in closing, we're getting ready to close this on up. So, in closing, when it comes to cultural appropriation, I'm going to ask one question that it kind of asks on the Grapevine. Do you think artists like John B, do you think artists like Tiana Marie, like back in the day, Tiana Marie, John B, they were white doing black music. They were doing R&B, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't a big deal because it was like black people liked them, and that's what all it was. It wasn't like they are the face of R&B. Now we in an age where the face of R&B is a Bruno Mars. The face of R&B is an Adele to certain people. The face of R&B is a non-black person nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
how do you get that ownership to or get that back? Or if we can't get that back, how do you elevate the artists who are continuing to move that music? Like, I think the best way to do is support those artists like Kalila, like Ari, like a lot of black artists is out here doing it.
Right.
You know, I think that's the best way to do it. But what would you say to that?
I mean, all you can do is support them. It's like we don't control shit. And then even with the radio, like the same things are controlled by the same couple of people. That's why people go major, because that's gonna be your radio, that's gonna be your tour, that's gonna be your this, because it's about the relationships. And you can't, like, it's hard to do indie. Like I said, like, of course there are exceptions to the rule, i.e. Chance the Rapper and a couple of other people, but it's hard. It's a different struggle. It's a different journey. And as far as us support, like, I don't know. It's like, it's hard for black people to really find those indie, because first you got to check and see if they indie. Because some of the people you even name are actually major and not indie.
These people are indie that I name.
Sid is major.
Yeah, Sid major. I don't think the people I named was indie. I ain't talking about whether it's indie or not. I'm talking about to change the face of R&B. To change the face.
It's not in our hands anymore. It left our hands a long time ago. We don't control that.
We left our hands, but if black people continue to be like, well, I ain't trying to listen to Bruno Mars 24/7. I ain't trying to listen to Adele 24/7. Ed Sheeran, come on. They say Ed Sheeran is on the face of R&B. They say Sam Smith, who did a song 3 fucking years ago, is the face of R&B.
To me, Sam Smith nor Ed Sheeran nor Adele is R&B.
Exactly. To me too.
They don't even really play them like that on black stations, do they? Well, Sam Smith they kind of did. Yeah, but to me, all of them are more pop.
They played Adele on black stations, definitely.
But
they played
those artists to me are more pop. To me,
they are. They clearly pop, but still, they still consider them, you know.
But yeah, I just don't feel like that's in our hands. Yeah. Like, I think we just don't control that no more. You know?
And I think the only way to get back to control is about who you put your money and your ears listening to, who you want to continue to listen to. I think that's how you create ownership bring ownership back to the artists by supporting those artists. You know, whether they're back from a major or an indie. You know, yeah, that's pretty much it. And Eminem is a cultural vulture. A cultural appropriator too. So if Bruno Mars is a cultural appropriator, yes, but Eminem is a cultural appropriator too.
Well, he said it.
Yeah, man, I don't give a fuck what y'all gonna come on here crying about next. But until next time, y'all, man, hit that like button, hit that share button. Build up in the comment section. I know y'all gonna go crazy in the comment section on this. So y'all, we just build in the comment section, you know, have a conversation. Let me ask one final question.
Yes.
All right. Cultural appropriation. Is it the biggest problem, the biggest element within black culture, with black folks, black people?
Hell
or is it
no.
part of the whole system? Or is this another part of the whole system that's messing with us?
It's definitely not the biggest thing. There are definitely much more pressing arguments that should be a lot more popular. Yeah, this is just a small piece of the overall system.
What?
To me, yeah.
But with that being said, the same question goes to you all. Y'all let me know in the comment section. You let cuz know in the comment section. You know, look at our Instagram at Mother House Pod on Instagram. Go to our Twitter, man. Our Twitter got, you know, discontinued because of dumb shit. But we got a new Twitter up called Mother House Podcast. Look us up. You see our little logo. And outside of that, man, hit that like button, hit that comment button, hit that share button. Don't be stingy with it. Share it with your mama and your cousin too. Until next time, family. Peace, love, and light.
Peace out.
I will not raise my daughter differently than my mother raised me. The rearing I got from my mother, words cannot express. I could live in any time, I could live in any country, I could live on any planet, and I would be fine.
What was the key? What did your mother know? What truth was coming through your mother that's going to come through you to your daughter?
My mother gave us aphorisms to learn as children. And the one that there are two that stand out foremost in my mind. One is the inner reality creates the outer form. I learned this when I was in grade school. I was very young. And the other is the universe bears no ill to me. I bear no ill to it.